just wanted to make a video because I realised I hadn't done one in quite a while, and yes, I look like a thug, I apologise for that, but I have my cup of tea, so that makes thug's life better. I realised that I had a comment asking how to be there, not how can you support, like what to say, what to do if you know someone that has an eating disorder, and how to support a friend. I think it was a friend really. And so I just wanted to do like 10 ways to support someone you know with an eating disorder. Number one, really, I mean the first 5 are all quite important, but number one, don't judge them, because if you start saying stuff that's very like, I don't know, you might not know that you shouldn't say that, but you shouldn't, but just don't judge them. Don't say, just be like, oh, why are you doing that? You're doing this because of that. Don't assume things. Just don't judge them. Just really make your mind a blank canvas again. Don't assume something about an eating disorder. Like, treat them as a blank canvas, so you don't rub them up the wrong way. Not purposely, but I know many things can be said that are really hurtful, that aren't, like, they're not meant to be hurtful. So just don't judge them. Treat them as if the things they tell you are the only things you know, because they'll really, really, really thank you for that. Number 2, again, just really be there for them. Like, I guess you can kind of isolate yourself when you're in an eating disorder. So if they want a phone call, if they just want a text, if they don't want to see you that night, don't make a big fuss about it. Just accept it and let them know that if they do want to come round your house, that you're there for them. And like, if they ever want to call you to ask to come round, then they shouldn't be afraid of doing so. And just be there for them. Go for a walk, a phone call, have a cup of tea or a coffee with them. It doesn't have to be the biggest things that really mean a lot. It's normally the littlest things, like going around the house and watching a film. You don't have to spend a lot of money at the cinema. Just even if you don't talk about the problem that they're having, just sitting there, because if they want to talk to you, then they will. So don't force it. Number 3, that leads on to it. Don't force them to open up to you, because they might not be ready for it. They might not have accepted it themselves. So it's very hard to talk about something you don't believe is true, especially because one thing I struggle with is when you say something out loud, it makes it more real. So they might not want to talk about it yet, but that's okay, because there will be a time when they do. So don't force them into talking about their eating disorder. Number 4. I had loads, I'm trying to think of them now. Number 4, how to be there for someone. Don't talk about stigmas. Like, I said don't judge them, but don't be like, oh, you over-exercise, all anorexics over-exercise, or you must binge and purge twice a week, you're bulimic. Like, there is a criteria, but everyone's different, and the criteria doesn't fit everyone. So try not to stigmatise, because you might not have any clue of what's going on and actually get the wrong end of the stick, and that's just going to make them think, well, you don't know me that well, you're not there for me if you're thinking this and I'm doing this. Number 5. I think number 5 is a really important one, and maybe it should come higher up in my list, but they're not really ordered, so don't force them to change. I mean, their family have probably already been through a lot, whether they've had it a long time or a short time. Their family have probably tried everything under the sun to make them change. They don't want someone else telling them to change. They want someone, like I said in my first point, just to be there for them, just to sit and watch a movie. Do not come onto the whole essay, or you have to change because of this, you have to change because of that. But number 6 is slightly along those lines, but remind them of what they love. Like, if they love dancing, remind them about that. If they used to be really sporty, try and talk to them like, oh, do you have any ambitions in the future to go back to sport? Because they might have had to stop because of their weight if they're anorexic. But be very careful again what you say. Don't tread on eggshells, because like our family have learned the hard way. You can't tread on eggshells all your life, but just find out information first if you can from the parents, like, because they've had to stop sport and you say, oh, how's sport going? It's just going to make them more upset. So remind them of what they love and why they're doing these things. Is that 6 or 7? Yeah, okay, I'll do 11 if it ends up that way. 7. Ask them if they want to take up any new hobbies. Maybe plan something together. Like, if they're really interested in learning to knit, like maybe you could do it with them so they're not so on their own, because again, you feel quite alone when you've got an eating disorder and you isolate yourself. So if you have someone start talking to you like, oh, do you want to do this with me? It makes you feel included and actually makes you feel more worthy. And it'll probably help them recover if they feel more worthy, because the whole thing I know I struggle with, and a lot of other people, is that you're actually worth something. So if you give them something they're worthy of or worth for, then it's going to help their self-esteem. Number 8. Number 8's going to sound really stupid, but I hope you know what I mean. Just be their only friend, because you can kind of get afraid of people where you isolate yourself so much. So if they're still at school and at lunch, they're going to be afraid of lots of people, especially around food, and if they are still eating at school, then offer to go somewhere with them, somewhere quiet. Offer, like, anything they want, just offer to help. If they say no, that's up to them, but if you ask, then again, with a lot of things in life, you don't ask, you don't get. So be their only friend and ask them if there's anything you can do to help. Number 9. If they go impatient, or if they are impatient, then find out when they're home, if they get leave, and text them. Because if you have the initiative to be like, oh, are you home? Do you want to do something? Again, self-esteem. Oh, someone wants to see me, someone wants to do something. And it gives them something to look forward to, especially if they've only been impatient for not very long. Because if they're still really struggling with food, something to look forward to at the weekend's a real motivation. Number 10. Number 10 again might sound obvious, but talk about yourself. Normally people say don't talk about yourself because it sounds like you're being arrogant, or I don't know. It's weird nowadays, the world. Just talk about yourself as well. Let them know what you're doing, because if they're like if you're at college and they can't go because they're honest, be like, oh, I'm really enjoying college, because again, it reminds them of what normal people their age are doing, and like they might want to get back into that. So really like connecting them in the loop. And like, yeah. And 11, especially if they're at school, do not talk about gossip. If you hear gossip, either ignore it or set the facts right, because if they're away, or even if they're not away, if they hear people are spreading stuff, that's going to make them not want to go to school, not want to recover. They don't feel worthy. If people start bullying them, it's just going to feed into the illness. So just stay very within a close circle of friends. So yeah, whatever you do, do not spread rumours. Just don't mention it. If they want to tell people, they will tell people. Okay, I kind of gone on a bit, and this sounds really stupid, this video, but I really hope this helps, especially because someone asked. Comment below, or subscribe, yes. If you've got any other questions, just comment like I said. Okay, I hope this helps. Thanks, bye.